Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video we'll be coming about overcoming the 6 major obstacles in learning or mastering Vedic astrology. So the first one will be how to read the charts. We have 3 types of chart, the north, south and the east. The next will be about the planets and signs. Then we talk about the lordship of signs. The next one is about the strength of the planets in the signs, the debilitation and exaltation. So if you like this video, please click the thumbs up, subscribe if you would like to get a notification about similar videos in the future. And now let's dive right into this video. Okay, so we have 3 types of charts. We have a north, south and the east. In the south and the east, the signs are in the same placement and the houses are changing. So we have to look where is the symbol AS. This is the ascendant, this will be the first house. Whilst in the north type of chart, the diamond chart, then the houses are always in the same places and the signs are changing, and then these signs are written in the form of numbers. So we have these numbers in the houses and they are showing which sign is in that house. So for example, if you have the number 5, it's Leo. If we have number 8, it's Scorpio. If we have number 10, it's Capricorn. If it's 11, it's Aquarius, and so on. And also the south chart, we are going clockwise, and both in the east and in the north we are going the anti-clockwise direction. So the best way to remember where are the sign in the east charts, so we have this 4 rectangles or 4 squares. In the top we have the Aries, down is Libra, on the left is Cancer, and on the right is Capricorn. And then we have to just remember the order of signs. And similarly with the south chart, we have to remember which signs are in the corners. So in the left, right is Pisces, right top is Gemini, bottom right is Virgo or Kanya, and the bottom left is Sagittarius. And again we are going clockwise and we have to remember the order of the signs. So the north chart is very good to learn the Argala, the diamond chart, because the houses are on the 2nd and 12th and 3rd and 11th, so Argala is also working like that. The south chart, however, is very good to learn Rasi Drishti, because the Abhimukha sign, the Badhaka sign, all those types of Rasi Drishti or the sign aspects are very easily seen in this type of chart. And also we say that the north chart, this diamond chart, is egocentric, because the houses are always showing how we see the world, how is our attitude towards the world, whilst the sun is showing the nature. They are distributed by the sun. So the north chart is more egocentric, and we also say that it's not traditional. It came probably from the Greeks, because if we see the old traditional Greek text, this chart they were using is very similar to this diamond north chart. So it's not coming from the India originally, so we are using in our tradition either south or east chart, and specifically in our school we are using the east or Surya type of chart. I'm a Scorpio in the Western. In the Vedic we are a little bit different. Everything is backwards a little bit. So we are not only reducing everything to one sign, it's more about the ascendant, about the moon, about the sun. So it's more, yeah, okay, more complicated. But it's the whole chart. It's not only one sign, it's the whole chart, you know. So the second important point is about the planets and signs. This is quite important because the planets will show the karma. They are the distributors of karma. So what's going on in the chart, this will be based on the planets, how they are placed, in which houses, in which signs, what kind of relation they are making, and so on. And also we need to remember the signs, what the sign mean, what is the tattva, so is there watery or fiery, what is their mobility, so are they chara or movable, are they fixed, stubborn, right? Then we need to learn about lordship of signs. So Aries and Scorpio lorded by Mars, Taurus and Libra lorded by Venus. Why they are lorded by these planets? Is there some order maybe which is starting from Cancer and Leo, which are the queen and the king of the chart? And then the strength of the planets, so the ucha and nica, exaltation and debilitation. And then we have to learn about the aspects. The aspects are very important because the yuti, which is the conjunction, the aspect and the parivartana, they are the 3 ways in which the planet have relationship with each other. And this relationship, this create another meaning, because the planets, when forming some kind of relationship, they are giving us another meaning, what this means in our life, which areas will be influenced by this position, what we can do about this position of the planets, what is the remedies. So these yogas are important for everything. When we learn about the planets, the first categorization is about the benefics and malefics, which planets are good, which planets are not so good or negative, or the better word would be harsh or raw. So the benefics are always Jupiter, Venus, Mercury and the moon. For Mercury, normally we say it has to be also in the company of good planets to be a real benefic. If Mercury is in the company of malefics, it tends to also become malefic. Also we say that when the moon is in the Krishna Paksha, or it's warning, it's decreasing the light, then it's also bit can have this negative or cruel side. So especially around the new moon, Krishna Chaturdashi, Shukla Pratipad, so the first day after new moon, these are all these phases of the moon when the moon is really without the light, and the moon without the light can be also treated as a malefic. And then we have this malefics in the fiery element and in the airy element. So fiery is Sun, Mars and Ketu, and airy is Saturn, Rahu. So these 5 so-called planets, the grahas, are also malefics. The next category to learn about the planets is the guna. There are 3 gunas in Vedic astrology. They are very well explained in the Bhagavad Gita. They have a strong psychological connotations. So these are very interesting. I can say that my whole Instagram account was started with my post about the gunas. This was most popular post till now on my Instagram account. So the gunas are very popular also in the Western world and in the psychology, and if you want to learn about the mind and so on, the gunas are really beautiful concepts. So we say that the highest guna is the sattva guna, it's the mode of goodness. Then we have the rajas guna, and which is the passion, and then we have the tamas, which is destructive and ignorance. So the planets which are about the knowledge, light and happiness, which is the sattva guna is all about, are the sun, Jupiter and the moon. So see now the mix of sun. The sun is very interesting planet because we said that it is malefic, but it also have the light, which is the sattva guna. Then we have planets in the rajas guna about the creativity, about the enjoyment, about the sensual excitement. This is the Mercury and Venus. And then these planets which are about the ignorance, anger, sadness, without the light. We have this tamas guna, without the knowledge. So these are the Saturn, Mars, Rahu and Ketu. Now we need to talk about the tattva. The tattva is the element, and this is very easy. The Sun, Mars and Ketu, these are the fiery planets. Moon and Venus, these are watery planets, the Jala tattva. Then we have the Saturn in the tattva or element of air. We have Mercury in the earthy element, and we have Jupiter in the akasha, etheric element. So these are the tattva of the planets. And the last important point is a little bit oversimplification, but the planets are in the category of devas, which is the Sun, Moon, Mars, Jupiter, and in the category of asuras, which is the Mercury, Venus and Saturn. And generally, there are of course the exceptions, but generally these planets are not liking each other. So the Venus, Mercury and Saturn, they are in one category. For example, Mercury doesn't like the Moon, Mars doesn't like the Mercury. So the asuras and the devas are somehow fighting with each other. So this is very important when we define the sambandha or relationship between the planets. So when we learn about the signs, we need to remember 3 things. One is the tattva. So again, they are in specific element category. They are loaded by some planet and they have some specific mobility. So let's start from the end, the mobility. Aries, Cancer, Libra and Capricorn, they are chara rashis, they say. So their mobility is movable. They like to move a lot. We say that the planets which is related to career life is in those signs. Then we say that your career life is abroad. You have to go far away. So this also is related to distance. So the next will be the stira signs. So these are connected to a place, they are not moving. So for example, if you have anything related in those signs, it means very close to birth, when you were born. So the next signs from the movable will be the fixed. So these are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio and Aquarius. These 4 are fixed. Then we have a dual signs. They are in the middle. They are not fully moving, not fully fixed. These are the Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius and Pisces. And as I said, in the southern or the Jupiterian type of chart, they are in the corners. So in the top right you have Gemini, right bottom you have Virgo, Sagittarius is the bottom left and top left would be the Pisces. Then we have the tattva, which is the element, and tattva is all about the direction and dharma. Dharma is characteristic. So this has a lot to do with how these signs behave. So Aries, Leo and Sagittarius are all in the fiery. So these planets have a lot of energy, a lot of stimuli. They are very charismatic. They want to fight for something. The way how they will fight will also be different. For example, there will be a big difference between Aries and Sagittarius because Aries is fighting with the Mars, so it's very straightforward, whilst the Sagittarius is more about the law. So the law is also kind of, we could say, a fight. It's a moral fight. It's a fight of morality. So all the institutions are also in the Sagittarius. Then we have the earthy signs, which is the Taurus, Virgo and Capricorn. We have the Aries signs, which is the Gemini, Libra and Aquarius. And we have the watery signs, which is the Cancer, Scorpio and Pisces. The Cancer is showing the river, Scorpio is the well, and the Pisces is the ocean. So this is all about the water, but different types of water. And when we are learning about the signs, very important to remember their lordship. So we are starting with the Cancer and Leo. So the Cancer is loaded by the moon and the Leo is loaded by the sun. And then we are going one backwards, one forward. So the Gemini and Virgo are loaded by Mercury. We are again going one sign before and forward. So we have then the Taurus and Libra, which is loaded by Venus. Then we have Aries and Scorpio loaded by Mars. And then we have Pisces and Sagittarius loaded by Jupiter. And then we have Capricorn and Aquarius loaded by Saturn. And then we have the nodes, a little bit controversy is there about the lordship, exaltation and so on. In our tradition, we are saying that the Virgo and Aquarius are loaded by Rahu, the Scorpio and Pisces are loaded by Ketu. So this is the lordship of the signs. We are starting from the Cancer and Leo, Cancer loaded by the moon, Leo loaded by the sun, and then we are going sign by sign, backwards and forwards. And this will be loaded by Mercury, by Venus, by Mars, by Jupiter and Saturn. So Saturn is far away. The Capricorn and Aquarius are loaded by Saturn. The next point is about the grouping of houses. So here we have the most important auspicious and inauspicious. So the most important division is kendra, the houses of support and foundation. This is the first, 4, 7 and 10. First is about myself, 7 is about the others, 4 is about being at home, 10 is about going to work, going outside. Then we have the trikona, this is the 5th and 9th, so this is the axis of time. The first is presence, 5th is the future, and the 9th house is the past. And then we have the negative houses, which are the 6th, 8th and 12th. Some people are adding also the 3rd house because the badhaka, or the significator of the 3rd house, is the malefic Mars. So we have Mars signifies 3rd and 6th. This is about the challenge, overcoming enemies, overcoming weaknesses. And then we have the sadness houses, which are 8 and 12, and these are the karaka as the Saturn. So the 12 is showing some kind of expenses or losses we are incurring in life, and the 8th house is also about the Durga, also overcoming a big challenges in life, also about our death, also wealth which is coming from death. The Mrita Dhanam, as the Parashara is saying, this is also related to inheritance. So 8th house is also showing that. Also, when we talk about the houses, it's important to talk about the badhaka houses, because the badhaka is also kind of negative. So for the movable signs, we know that this is Aries, Cancer, Libra and Capricorn. This will be the 11th house. So if you are in the Aries ascendant, the badhaka house is 11th. It can be negative, especially if it is triggered by malefic. For the fixed signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio and Aquarius, this would be the 9th house. And for the dual rashis, for the Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius and Pisces, this will be the 7th house, which is the negative or challenging house, the badhaka. The karaka is Rahu, so this badhaka house is all about the Rahu. It is agantuka, adrishta. So this is something external, but you cannot see it, you cannot know what is going on. So therefore we say that the problems coming from badhaka are out of blue. We don't know, we don't understand why they are coming to our life. On positive, this is Rahu, so it can give, for example, the foreign travels, foreign residence, foreign gains and so on. The next point is about the exaltation and debilitation of the planets. So this is very important when we say which planets are strong or which planets are weak in our chart. We can divide these planets based on the pairs. For example, the Sun exaltation is Aries and debilitation is Libra. But this is opposite to Saturn. Saturn exaltation is in Libra and this is debilitated in Aries. The same pair is Mars and Jupiter. Mars is exalted in Capricorn and debilitated in Cancer. Jupiter, the opposite, is exalted in Cancer and debilitated in Capricorn. So these planets will also have opposite meaning. They are voting for something completely different. For example, Jupiter is all about the peace, and the Mars like to challenge. Mars like to go outside, likes to go to work, because this is the place when he can find the challenge, whilst Jupiter likes learning, likes peace, like meditation. So this is all about the 4th house. Then we have also the Mercury and Venus. Mercury exalted in Virgo, debilitated in Pisces. The Venus opposite is exalted in the Pisces and is debilitated in the Virgo. Moon is exalted in Taurus and is debilitated in the Scorpio Rashi. Taurus is the 2nd house, it's all about the family, about the food. Moon loves this. And 8th house is about cruelty. This is the Ketu and Mars. So Moon doesn't like these houses. So the 8th house is also about the death, about the suffering. So the Moon doesn't like this energy and therefore is debilitated in Vrishchika Rashi or Ali Rashi or Scorpio. And now, of course, the Rahu and Ketu, there is, as I said, a lot of controversy here, because there are different context in which these planets are exalted and debilitated, but for the general, for the Phalita context, as we say, the Rahu is exalted in Gemini, debilitated in Sagittarius, and Ketu has to be reversed because it's totally opposite periphery when it comes to meaning. Ketu is exalted in Sagittarius and debilitated in Gemini. So the Rahu is all about being reborn, a lot of desires, and Ketu is the opposite, about the freedom and liberation. So the Ketu is exalted in Sagittarius. He loves temples, he loves the higher knowledge, the gurus, meditation, fasting, the japa, rituals. This is what Ketu loves. So in this way we can see which planet is strong in our charts. For example, we can see, oh, I have Saturn in Libra. Now we know Saturn is exalted in Libra, so in your chart Saturn is very strong. So all the meaning of Saturn will be very present and very strong in your life, especially in matters of houses in which Saturn is placed, it's loading and it's aspecting. Also, when we talk about the avasta or the strength of planets, very important is the Navamsha chart. So we have to check in which signs these planets are in the Rasi chart, and also we have to check in which signs they are in the Navamsha chart. Navamsha can be even more important, so don't forget to see in which signs these planets are in the Navamsha. The last point is about the aspects. So in Vedic astrology we have two types of aspects. They are called graha drsti and rasi drsti. So the graha drsti is the planetary aspect and the rasi drsti is the sign aspect. In this video we'll be talking about the planetary aspect or the graha drsti. So the first point to remember is that Ketu is not having any type of graha drishti because he doesn't have head. So the drishti means the sight. So when I see something, then it goes to my mind and then I'm developing desires. I'm thinking about that, meditating, and the desires is coming. This is how the mind is working. So if we don't have eyes, Ketu is without the head, so it means that there is no desire. Ketu doesn't have any graha drishti. The next point is that the all remaining planets or grahas, they are aspecting the 7th house from their position. So if you have Mars in first, it will always aspect the 7th because the 7 is 7 from the first. If you have Mars in 4th, it will aspect 10th because the 10th is in the 7th from the 4th. If you have Venus in 3rd, it will aspect the 9th house. So always the 7th house from their position, each planet will aspect. So this is very easy. But the outer planets, they have additional aspects. And the best way to remember is that these are Saturn, Mars, Jupiter and Rahu. So the Saturn is 3 and 10, Mars is 4 and 8, Jupiter is 5th and 9, and Rahu is like Jupiter, 5th and 9, but also additionally 2nd house. So these are the additional aspects of the outer planets. Saturn 3rd and 10th, Mars 4 and 8, Jupiter 5th and 9th, and Rahu 5th and 9th and the 2nd. So now you know which houses, which planets and which signs these planets will be aspecting whenever they are placed in your chart. So for example, if you have Mars in the 10th house and Saturn in the 1st house, they will mutually aspect each other because the Mars is aspecting 4th house from its position. So Mars in 10th house will aspect the ascendant, and the Saturn in the ascendant will aspect the Mars in the 10th house because Saturn is always aspecting the 10th house from its position. Okay guys, so I was and I am teaching Vedic astrology, so these are what I've observed 6 most important obstacles. When we can overcome or master these 6 points, then the paradise of Vedic astrology is waiting for us. So I really encourage you to go through it, memorize them, and most important, understand the philosophy behind all these aspects, lordships, tattvas, gunas of the planets, signs and houses. And then you will find how really beautiful and valuable the Vedic astrology is. Okay guys, so that's gonna be it for me. If you find this video informative, entertaining, or it brought some kind of value to your life, please click the thumbs up. It helps me with the algorithm to make my videos visible on the platform. Subscribe if you haven't already, and see you in the next one.